All right, so it's week 12, and this week y'all get a new scenery, not the white walls of my small room. And this is what I get to look at. This is my view. It's like over the city, and back of the buildings of the city is the ocean. You can't really see it from here, but it's an awesome view. One of my favorite spots to eat lunch. So we'll go into some differences, and today in Spanish class we were talking about foods and like foods from different countries, because in Spanish class we have people from the Netherlands, from Singapore, from Canada, and then of course United States. So she was just asking us like what's the difference, and then she was saying how yeah, like we have some of the same stuff, but it might taste different here. And one of the things I did notice is I've had a Powerade and a Gatorade here, and they taste actually really different. Here they taste, I feel like it's not as sugary. It tastes more like a juice, probably how it should taste. And also, like here they have these stickers. They have them on chips. Sometimes they have them on drinks and then other kinds of foods, but it says stickers like very high in calories. And I've heard here like their food administration thing, whatever they call it here, is like very strict. So like yeah, if it's high in calories or high in sugar, like sometimes they don't allow certain foods here. So that's pretty interesting. We were talking about, there was like, well, the guys from Singapore, because she was asking like what's the typical or national food from your country, and they were like saying from the US like burgers and fries, and they were trying to explain gravy to her, but she didn't really understand. She's never had it. Let's see, Canada, it was poutine. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. That's how you say it. And then Singapore, they were saying how they have this, it's kind of like a shake, and it had like avocado, milk, sugar, I don't know if it had yogurt, but I just know like chocolate, like chocolate syrup thing, and it's like a shake, and that's what they drink. And she was like her faces at what she was making was really funny. She's like, that's not good, but they like it. And then here how they have, she was asking us if we like the Chilean food, and she says how a lot of foreign exchange students say like how they eat a lot of rice and they eat a lot of bread, which they do. And I think the food here is kind of bland compared to like other places or other foods that I've tasted. Like it just doesn't have much flavor. And then she's like, well, what kind of flavor? Like what do you think it needs? And I'm like, I don't know, something. It's just kind of bland. But some things that they have similar to here, I might have talked about this, but they have a soup called cazuela, and it's very similar to caldo, but so they put the corn, they put the meat, potato, but then they put like a piece of pumpkin in there, and so like they don't put the carrots, they don't put zucchini, and then it doesn't have as much flavor. But very similar. And then she was asking us if we've had pebre, I think that's how you say it, and it's and I have had it here, and it's very similar to pico de gallo as well, but it doesn't have the spicy taste. Like it just has like the onions and tomatoes, and very similar, but yeah, different tastes. So those are the differences. And then when she was talking about just like differences, this also made me think of, I don't know why, but so here there are cigarette boxes, and like anywhere they sell tobacco or anything like that, they have the pictures of, we have the commercials of like if you smoke cigarettes, like the one where the girl like has to peel off a piece of her face or something like that, wood stuff like that, that's on like their cigarette boxes. And like one day we're in Buenos Aires, we're at a club, and they were selling cigarettes at the club, but everywhere like they had all these posters of like gross like people with like cancer of the lip, or like just gross like things that would happen like if you smoked. And this is like on all of their cigarette boxes. And a friend from Canada was also telling me like they also have this as well, and she's like, do y'all not? And I'm like, no, like that's not a thing. And also I think in Canada, like they can only have like white cigarette boxes, like so it's not appealing to kids. And I was like, that's very interesting. And I was like, we should have that because like if a little kid saw that or someone else saw that, it like definitely makes you not want to smoke that. So, but I feel like it'll probably happen, but it just hasn't happened in the States yet. Um, so last week or this past week, we were walking to a friend's house and we got bullied by a dog. Like we really did. So this dog was by us and then he started growling and we're like, oh no. So we like kind of like walked across the street and he followed us. And I was like, okay, it's because like we have chips and stuff, so he just wants food. But then like he was being mean. He like kept growling at us and we like tried to walk faster and we're like, oh no, he's still coming. He followed us for a good like 10 minutes. He followed us all the way till we got to our friend's apartment, and then finally we were able to get away. But yeah, let's see what else happened. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, last week's game, it was really good. We won 4-0, scored a goal, and actually we have another game today. Pretty excited for that. I actually lost my wallet, unfortunately, when I went out last week. It wasn't even like, I wasn't drunk. My purse just flipped kind of like upside down. Everything fell out, and luckily, like some guy picked up my phone and gave it to me. Someone else picked up my keys and gave it to me, and I was like, my wallet. And then like I turned on my light to look for it, and I couldn't find it. It sucks. Like my car. Luckily, I didn't have that much money in there. But my credit card and my debit card was in there, which was not a good idea that I took them out. But, yeah. And I think I'll be okay. I don't know. But we'll see. Maybe my mom can send it. And I lost my rings that I always wear. Sucks. But it could have been worse. Like I could have lost my phone and my keys. So thankfully, I'm trying to look at the bright side. This past weekend, I volunteered in Viña del Mar with a group. It was called Oso de Acción. So Oso is the business mascot. And then it's just Bears in Action, like basically volunteering. And I'm actually really glad that I went because I could have gone to Pucón with some friends. Like a friend had like a cabin over there. I was really on the fence about like just not doing the volunteer thing and going. But I was like, no, like Pucón, like it'll always be there. But like this volunteering thing is only this weekend. So I was like, I should go. And I'm really glad that I did. So we went there Friday night. We spent there Friday night and Saturday night. So Friday, we met at the school and, okay, so, sorry, there's this story where I really didn't want to talk about it, but it said to be here, this just explains Chilean time, basically. So it said to be here at 6, and I still, like, I don't have data on my phone. So I go to the bus stop, like, I was rushing, of course. I missed the 5:40 bus, and I was like, oh, like, I need to be there by 6. So I was like, all right, I need to get a taxi. And so I get a taxi. The taxi was like 5,000 pesos, so like $7-ish. And then I get to campus, and then I check the group chat, and then it says, people are asking, like, do we have to be there by 6? Like, can we take the 7 o'clock bus? And they're like, yeah, like, no problem. We'll meet there, like, at 7. And I was like, great. I paid for nothing. And I told one of the guys in charge, I was like, it said to be here by 6. He's like, it's Chilean time. I'm like, of course. And just time is not in my favor. Every time, like, I'm early, I'm not supposed to be. And when I'm late, I'm supposed to be, like, on time. So, I don't know. One day I'll get it down. But yeah, the volunteering, it was really amazing. So there's this neighborhood, and we stayed in the place. So I'm pretty sure, like, every community, like, kind of like underprivileged community has these, it's like a house that everyone can go to. Like, kids can go there after school, like an after school program, or just the community can come have lunch together. because when I volunteer in Valparaiso, like they have the same thing. So that's where we spent the night at. When we got there, we ate choripans, of course, and then the next day we had to wake up really early. And the only thing that kind of sucked about the volunteer thing was spending the night because it was cold and we're like sleeping on the floor in sleeping bags. But it just like when I got back, it just made me really appreciate my bed at the house because I mean, I don't even have the best bed here. But when I got back, I was like, oh my God, a pillow, a bed. I was so happy. I was like, ooh, I get to take a shower. But yeah, so one of the days we got split into like 6 groups. Each group had like something to do. So like my group was in charge of building a fence, and then there was another group that had to put insulation and drywall up. There was another group that like some fence fell down, so they had to like put it back up and paint it. And then there was another one was like gardening, and another one had to do something else with the house. And like these like aren't even houses. These are like kind of like shacks. Like they're just using like any kind of material they can find. And like over the weekend, we really didn't even have like the proper tools. So like there were only a couple of gloves like some people got, and then we only had like a couple hammers for like each group. So like, and then like sometimes of course it's not like really organized, like at this time we're gonna do this, at this time we're gonna do this. So like each group is kind of like just going, kind of just go with the flow, like whatever's like happening. So like sometimes we like kind of like didn't have nothing to do because like other people were using the tools, and like we needed them, and but like we got our fence done, and pretty much every other group got what they had to do, they got it done. But it was really a good experience. It just like makes you appreciate like everything you have, because like there's little kids there, and like they don't have a lot, but they're just outside playing, and they're there helping you, and just a really amazing experience. And then at night we had like a bonfire, and they're like singing songs, mostly Spanish songs, so I wasn't singing along too much, but it was still really fun. And then we got a new girl in the house from Pennsylvania, but she's only here for like a summer program, so she's only here for a month, and she's actually leaving before I do. So yeah, we showed her around. Well, she barely got here like 2 days. The first day she got here, she needed a couple things from the store, so me and Fernando took her, showed her like where some stuff was, and yeah, and that's all. I haven't talked to her since then, so we'll see how that goes. And I'm gonna tell you where I'm going to next. So drum roll. Brazil. So I bought my ticket like 2 days ago, and it kind of wasn't planned. Like I talked about it me and my friends talked about going, but we were like. And we talked about going the first weekend in June, but we really, like, it wasn't sure, it wasn't final that we were going. And then, like, just a couple of days ago, they're like, okay, if we're going, like, we need to buy our tickets now. And so we bought the tickets, and then I was, like, FaceTiming my sister and my mom yesterday, and I told them. And my mom's like, I was like, guess where I'm going? I'm going to Brazil. And she's like, what, when, where, what, with who? And I'm like, And then my sister's just like super jealous because Dallas kicks in Brazil. But yeah. And shout out to my mom, because she's kind of basically the one that paid for this trip, because she did give me money from her income tax, because she was like, dang, you have a sugar daddy that's paying for all this. And I was like, no. Credit card, that's what it's called. Just kidding. Well, not really, but yeah. So yeah, we are going to Brazil. We just booked our Airbnb, so we're not going this weekend. We're going in 2 weeks. So that should be very interesting. And I actually got really lucky. For both times, I didn't have to pay for a visa. So in some countries, not all countries, you have to pay for a visa. So for Argentina, there was a visa fee for the U.S., and each visa fee is $160, but that's before like Obama went to Argentina, and so we went like the weekend after he went, and so like after that meeting, like they're trying to have a better relationship between the U.S. and Argentina, so they dropped the fee so like they can have more tourists come. So I didn't have to pay for Argentina, and for Brazil also. They have a fee of $160, but I don't have to pay that because they dropped it because of the the U.S. Olympics, and they want more tourists to come, so they dropped the fee. So luckily, I uh, opted out of having to pay those. Um, and today, oh yeah, I mentioned I have a game today. And then Justin comes in 2 days, so that should be really exciting. We have quite a few stuff planned. So I'll let you know next week of all of our adventures.